Is slated for 3rd November 2021 with a theme of looking at security, with the theme of One Health for improved health security. Not just security, but health security. Let's start off with our news hour, as Uganda is set to join the rest of the world to commemorate the World One Health Day. The World One Health Day will be held at Queen Elizabeth National Park on Wednesday, 3rd November. The day will provide interface for world sectors in implementation of World One Health in the country. While addressing journalists at Uganda Media Center, Sam Wanda, the Executive Director, Uganda Wildlife Authority, says that the event will be attended by high-event political figures and other implementing key sector partners. More of the story.
The National Oral Health Program will celebrate the 6th Annual One Health Day 2021 at Mwea Queen Elizabeth National Park in Kasese District on 3rd November 2021 and theme One Health for Improved Health Security. Sam Wada, the Executive Director of Uganda Wildlife Authority, says that the World One Health Day will be held at Queen Elizabeth National Park on Wednesday, saying that it will provide interface for world sectors and implementation of World One Health in the country.
The event seeks to provide an interface for One Health sectors and other stakeholders to dialogue and exchange views, knowledge and experiences on issues related to implementation of One Health in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the National One Health Platform, in collaboration with key partners, has enabled us to celebrate the annual One Health Day 2021. The event will be attended by high-level politicians and other implementing partners. It will enable us to deliberate on pertinent One Health issues, aiming at empowering sectors to prevent, to respond to, and control public health events in the country in order to achieve development targets in the National Development Plan to attaining the Vision 2020.
He notes that the National One Health Party is going to celebrate the 6th Annual World Day with a theme, Health for Improvement Security of both domestic and wildlife, as well as the environment, getting One Health. And this is going to be at Queen Elizabeth National Park too, saying that this site was picked because it has been a hotspot for many public health threats, including zones.
One Health Platform will celebrate the 6th Annual One Health Day, as I mentioned, in Mwea on Wednesday the 3rd, with the theme One Health for Improved Health Security. I should mention, when we talk One Health, combining the environment, the humans and the animals, and getting One Health, because if one is sick, the other two will probably and most likely also be sick. So that's why we are talking One Health. Now you might ask, why are we going to Mwea? We are going to Mwea in Queen Elizabeth National Park.
Officials from Public Reservation says that they have measures to fight against COVID-19, avoiding it from transmitting it to animals through vaccinating all the chimpanzees. And Uganda is among the countries that have received these vaccines.
And also, felids. As UAED said, in zoos in America, gorillas have got COVID from keepers who come very close to them, and so have lions and tigers. So generally they're finding it's affecting the cats, what you call the large cats, and the primates and the great apes. So at the Uganda Wildlife Education Center, they're vaccinating the chimpanzees plus the felids. You know, over there they have lions, cheetahs, tigers.
In November 3rd, 2021, shall mark the 6th Annual One Healthy Day, a global campaign that celebrates and brings attention to the need of a One Health approach to address shared health threats at the human-animal environment interface. One Healthy Day provides an opportunity for experts and the community to join together on One Health education and awareness, communication, coordination and collaboration among partners working in animal, human and environment health, as well as other relevant areas, are essential part of the One Health approach.
Someone then noted that the National One Health Party is going to celebrate the 6th annual World Day with a theme, One Health for improved security of both domestic and wildlife, plus the environment getting one health. And this is going to be at the Queen Elizabeth National Park. And saying that this site was picked because it has been a hotspot for public health threats, including zooness. Officials further say that the founder of the public reservation says that they have measures to fight against COVID-19 to avoid transmitting it to the animals through vaccinating the chimpanzees, and Uganda is among the countries that have received these vaccines that will be helpful throughout the drive against vaccinating the chimpanzees and also vaccinating other Ugandans against COVID-19. So of which we are looking at the chimpanzees to vaccinate them against COVID-19 so that we do not spread the virus to the animals, which will be a threat to our tourism sector. November 3rd, 2021 shall mark the 6th annual One Health Day as a global campaign that celebrates and brings attention to the need for a One Health approach to address shared health threats and the human-animal environment interface. The One Health Day provides an opportunity for experts and the community to join together in One Health education and awareness, together with communication, coordination and collaboration among partners working in animal, human and environment health, as well as other relevant areas, are an essential part of One Health approach. And the world will be celebrating it, and Uganda will be joining in the 6th annual celebration. Still with the local news stories, Kenya fish traders stuck with tons destined for export amid ongoing crisis with Uganda. The traders have decried the impounding of their fish destined for the Democratic Republic of Congo by Uganda fisheries officials. Here are the details.
Kenyan fish traders are stuck with at least 300 tons of fish destined for export due to ongoing row between Kampala and Nairobi. Early last month, officials from the Fisheries Protection Unit at the Mpondwe border in Kasese impounded 5 Kenyan trucks carrying fish destined for Democratic Republic of Congo. Hassan Ahmad, a fisher expert at the weekend, said he delivered a truckload of salted fish from Lake Turkana in Kenya at the Busia Kenya Fish Market, but none of his customers are willing to buy. According to the Fisheries Protection Unit, the fish impounded last month emerged from Ugandan lakes, which had been smuggled to Kenya, processed and repackaged for export. Joyce Ikwapu, the director of fisheries at the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, claimed the fish was from Lake Choga, that are fears that Ugandan authorities might impound whatever fish they intended to export to the Democratic Republic of Congo, after the Fisheries State Minister Ms. Helen Aduo said they will not be pressured to have the fish released. Godfrey Oundo Ongwabe, the National Cross-Border Trade Chairperson in Uganda, said Kampala should have investigated allegations of smuggling immature fish before impounding the fish. The seizure of the fish threatens to draw Kampala and Nairobi into another trade war following the former's ban on Ugandan goods in recent years, including milk, sugar, sugarcane, eggs, and most recently, maize grains, on grounds that they were substandard.
The crisis and conflicts between the two countries, Uganda and Kenya, are still continuing. Since 2019, December 2020, 2021, various dialogues have always been implemented to see that this continuous crisis comes to an end, to see that importation and exportation for both countries used to be. But however, concerning the issue of substandard goods, according to Kenyan authorities, the seizure of this fish threatens to draw Kampala and Nairobi into another trade war following the former's ban, that is Nairobi, on Ugandan goods in the recent years, including milk, sugar, sugarcane, eggs, and most recently maize in 2021. The first was milk, sugar came in, and sugarcane came in 2020 plus the eggs. Now most recently maize, on grounds that they were substandard according to the Kenyans. And the milk part of it also includes smuggling reports that the Kenyans were actually reporting that the milk that was actually being exported to Kenya was not paying the taxes or was not being taxed. It was actually beating the taxes or being smuggled in the country of Kenya. So that is one of the reasons as to why the ongoing growth has actually been in process and growing day in, day out. And following this issue, it continuously goes on and on. Then the Kenyan fish traders have actually said that they are stuck with at least 300 tons of fish, which was destined for export to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Early last month, officials from the Fisheries Protection Unit at the Mpondwe border in Kasese impounded 5 Kenyan trucks carrying fish, which was destined for the Democratic Republic of Congo. As Hassan Ahmed, a fish exporter at the weekend, said that they delivered a truckload of salted fish from Lake Turkana in Kenya to Busia Fish Market, but none of his customers are willing to buy. And according to the Fisheries Processing Unit, it says that this fish was got from Lake Choga. Okay, and it was being smuggled out of the country. Okay, let's move on to, let's check out what is happening from the next story. Conservationists in the Masaka sub-region have protested a move by a private developer to take over Masaka ecotourism site in Masaka city. The site was established by Nature Uganda in 2004 and has a tower which tourists use to watch birds and animals in a Nabajuzi Ramsar site. Tourists used to flock the site almost daily to watch birds, but the site currently houses 3 nurseries. More of the story.
The site located along Masaka-Mbarara Highway at Kijabwemi provides spawning ground for mudfish and lungfish and is also home for other unique animals and birds like sitatunga, the endangered showbill and papyrus, yellow warbler, among others. Before the first lockdown was announced in March 2020, tourists used to flock the site almost daily to watch these birds, but the site currently houses 3 nurseries. Recently, a private developer ordered Nature Uganda, the organization which has over the years been managing the site, to remove its properties including binoculars, telescopes, and guidebooks, and other items. Achilles Biaruhanga, the executive director Nature Uganda, says that encroaching on such property, which has played a big role in boosting the tourism sector in the region, is a staggering factor to the economy at large. Prosi Kabanda, the spokesperson Biodiversity Conservation Foundation, a local rights advocacy for environmental-related concerns, however, expresses doubt towards the private developer's capacity to secure the ecosystem in the areas compared to Nature Uganda. Elizabeth Nabankema, one of the women who used to sell handmade crafts to tourists at the ecotourism site, says they are unable to make money since the tourists don't visit the site any longer. Florence Namayanja, Masaka City Mayor, says the land being claimed by the private developer is among the city properties being investigated.
Recently, a private developer ordered Nature Uganda, the organization which has over the years been managing the site in Masaka, to remove its properties including binoculars, telescopes and guidebooks and other items that were being used by tourists at the site for the bird watching and as well as view of different scenery. Actually, Biaruhanga, the executive director at Nature Uganda, says that encroaching on such property, which has played a big role in boosting the tourism sector in the region, is a staggering factor to the economy at large. Prosi Kabanda, the spokesperson, Biodiversity Conservation Foundation, a local rights advocacy for environmental related concerns, however, expresses doubt towards the private developer's capacity to secure the ecosystem in the area as compared to Nature Uganda. And if you could see the site, which is actually ecotourism, which is an ecotourism site, which is Nature Uganda, has always been attracting a number of tourists coming for to watch the birds and getting various sights of the beautiful scenery. But still, I guess it is the same. If we were to look at the goal of trying as much as we can to rejuvenate the economy and focus more even on this tourism sector, these are some of the things we need to look at because this, if you are to look at our ecosystem or our eco sector, we need to make sure we safeguard all the activities, all the tourism sites out there. Because at the end of the day, for the recovery of the economy, as the president is yet to actually fully reopen it, will actually engage all various sectors to have all, let's say, if it's tourism, the sites have to be reopened, most probably, to help out in the day on in the activities, in the various activities. And this is actually posing a threat to the tourism sector in Uganda, not only in Masaka, but in the various tourism sites across the country. Okay, let's continue with our local stories. Uganda Revenue Authority has launched a countrywide exercise to monitor non-issuance of electronic receipts and electronic invoices. The exercise is set to check the inconsistent or incorrect supply of goods without digital stamps. According to Paddy Ocheng, the manager of domestic tax operations at the Uganda Revenue Authority in charge of the central region, the exercise is targeting supermarkets both in Kampala and upcountry. Check out the story.
Done on a machine. As the beer moves like this, the machine automatically.
In 2019 and 2021, Uganda Revenue Authority introduced the administrative solutions of digital tax solution and electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solutions, respectively. They say that all these are aiming at improving business efficiency. Uganda Revenue Authority has therefore launched a countrywide exercise to monitor non-issuance of e-receipts and e-invoices. The exercise will also check inconsistent or incorrect supply of goods without digital stamps. According to Paddy Ocheng, the manager domestic tax operations at the Uganda Revenue Authority in charge of the central region, the exercise is targeting supermarkets both in Kampala and the upcountry.
IFRIS is a solution that requires all VAT-registered taxpayers to issue e-invoices or e-receipts using the URA setup electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing system. So today we have launched a countrywide enforcement operation, and it's starting with supermarkets. The objective is to ensure that all transactions that are being done in these supermarkets are done through the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution. Taxpayers that are found non-compliant will be penalized in accordance with the law. This exercise will continue for a long time, and in the near future, other businesses will also be targeted.
Since the introduction of the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solutions and digital tax solutions, Ocheng notes that there has been continued supply of goods and services by VAT-registered taxpayers without issuing e-invoices, and a number of businesses are still in possession of unstamped gazetted products.
Done this using our own machines.
Ocheng explained that importing gazetted products without a digital tax stamp are offences punishable by law.
Taxpayers who may have paid in excess of what they should pay are entitled to refunds by law. With the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution, these taxpayers' refunds will be fast-tracked because all the transactional details are already with URA. In the future, we will introduce what we call pre-filing of tax returns, where taxpayers will be saved the burden of filing returns. All the information about sales, all the information about purchases and stock movement, if that is all with URA, then tax returns could be pre-filled. There's also the benefit of tracking and authentication of business transactions in real time. Yeah? So with these benefits, the call to action really from us as URA is that all taxpayers embrace the use of IFRIS and the use of digital tax stamps so that they reap from the benefits that I just mentioned.
All VAT-registered taxpayers are now registered to issue digital receipts through IFRIS in real time, and all gazetted products are to bear a digital tax stamp. The gazetted products include water, soda, beer, spirits, cigarettes, sugar, cement, among others. The High Court in Kampala on Thursday, January 2021, dismissed an application filed by 5 supermarkets asking it to bar Uganda Revenue Authority from implementing the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solutions IFRIS, a move they said was aiming at exploiting their businesses. Court ruled that Uganda Revenue Authority legally exercised discretionary powers when it issued a general notice requiring all VAT-registered taxpayers to start issuing e-invoices or e-receipts or use electronic devices connected to the tax body, centralized invoicing or receiving systems. Last year, the government adopted the application of Invoices supposed to be used by all businesses to transmit transaction details to Uganda Revenue Authority in real time and use e-receipts and e-invoices, which is in accordance with the Section 73A of the Tax Procedure Code Conduct 2014. Bedson Mumbere, Smart 24.
And confirming that the digital stamps are genuine and
Last year, the government adopted the application of IFRIS, supposed to be used by all businesses to transmit all transaction details to the Uganda Revenue Authority in real time and issue e-receipts and e-invoices, which are electronic receipts and electronic invoices, which is in accordance with Section 73A of the Tax Procedure Code Act of 2014. And that way, it is actually has actually deployed staff to go through supermarkets to see whether they are following the guidelines as per the Uganda Revenue Authority put in place. Away from that, the Uganda police has arrested 48 suspects connected to bomb attacks. The police spokesperson Fred Enanga revealed that the intelligence in the past 1 week since the 2 separate bomb attacks have led to the arrest of 48 suspects believed to have a connection to the attacks. While addressing journalists at the police headquarters in Naguru, Enanga said that the arrests will help them get more information about the attacks, but also a positive step in fighting the terror cells in the country. More of this story.
These arrests present a positive step in this fight of countering acts of terror. And so far we are into the 7th day since the last incident without any new incident of terror. But still there is a lot of work to be done to at least ensure that we identify all persons who are involved in these acts of domestic terrorism that are highly linked to the ADF.
The police spokesperson revealed that the joint operations by the Joint Anti-Terrorism Task Force, Chieftainess of Military Intelligence, Internal Security Organization and Crime Intelligence in the past 1 week since the 2 separate bomb attacks have led to the arrest of 48 suspects believed to have a connection to the attacks. Addressing journalists, Enang, the arrests will help them get more information about the attacks, but also a positive step in fighting the terror cells, saying that the same arrests will give them more tips on all people involved in the bomb attacks.
In which we lost an innocent member of the public, that is Nyenaneza Emily, and where 4 others sustained critical injuries. Of course, so this led to the joint security agencies intensifying intelligence-led operations. Our joint security agencies that comprised of the Joint Anti-Terrorism Unit, that is JAT, the joint intelligence components of CMI, CI, and ISO, CID, conducted operations that were targeting basically single individuals, small cells operating in the country, and also general activities rotating around terrorism. We want to inform the country that so far we have 48 suspects who have been arrested and are in our custody. The public should know that the threats to the country from terrorism, especially on soft targets, are still in existence.
In the same security press, Enang said that the suicide bomber believed to have died in the attack on a Swift Safari bus last week had been trained in the suicide missions by the ADF terrorist group. Enang noted that the deceased, identified as Isaac Matov, also known as Muzaffar, had been trained by the ADF in carrying out suicide attacks.
Remind the public that the focus of these terrorists is still on soft targets, and these are many and very difficult to defend all of them, especially restaurants, public transportation, shopping centers and markets, pedestrians, religious places, and so on. So we are therefore appealing to business owners and the public at large to support the security agencies in keeping our country safe by remaining vigilant and reporting anything that does not seem right.
And the continuous security threats and these explosives have actually posed a great threat to the trader community in Uganda. Most probably, this is one of the reasons as to why police is actually still on with the chase of these suspects. 48 have so far been arrested, more to be arrested with the continuous investigations that are happening throughout the country, and we hope that by the end of it all, police will have traced down all the criminals behind these particular explosives and these different terror attacks that have been happening in the last fortnight in Uganda. And while addressing the journalists, Nanga says that the arrests will help them get more information about the attacks, but also a positive step in fighting the terror cells, saying that the same arrests will give them more tips on all people involved in the recent bomb attacks in the last few weeks. Okay, away from that, we'll get back to you, All Smart Means Business, with the expert analysis. We're talking the education sector in Uganda, business from the education, tertiary institutions, and what is out there. What should we expect from the reopening, and where is the future of the institutions, and what is the future of the other education institutions in Uganda? Stick around, we're getting back shortly.